K6USY, Delta Mike 06.
Good evening. NW6BBS, DMO7.
So I just got home. I still need to go eat dinner. We're streaming from my house tonight because Mike lost power last night and the computer went down and decided not to come back up. So we'll deal with that later. But for tonight, I got the stream going from my house, K6USY.
Really? The computer still didn't come back up?
No, I have a feeling that having you press enter, it probably wasn't selected on the right button. So we'll deal with it later.
Okay. Well, that's too bad. But I'll be down at Mike's tomorrow. I can get it running again.
Yeah, and I got to figure out how to tweak the settings. Windows 11 apparently does not like losing power because it puts it into a recovery mode instead of just booting.
Feel like you're off frequency, Aaron. Well, one answer to that might be a UPS system on that particular computer.
Yep, Lee is already ordering one for me.
Very good. Okay, I'll get it back up and running tomorrow, Aaron. Better bring a laptop.
No, so Frank, there's a fake monitor plugged into the HDMI port on the computer. If you just unplug that and then plug a monitor into the HDMI port, then you'll be able to see it and get it back up. And then when you unplug the HDMI port, just make sure you put that fake HDMI adapter back into the streaming computer.
Okay, I think you bumped your VFO. You seem to go up in frequency while talking. Is that HDMI port something to do with your streaming stuff, or could I leave it out and leave a monitor plugged into it? Over.
So I'm changing frequency because I just turned my radio on, which means my Leo Bodner board is warming up and getting a GPS lock. So I'm not touching my VFO. That's just coming from the GPS lock. I put the fake monitor plug in there, otherwise I can't remote control the computer. The computer needs to think that there's a monitor connected to it. If you want to leave a monitor connected, that's fine. It either needs to have that plug in it or a monitor.
Okay, very good, very good. Good enough. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I'm going to go eat dinner. I'll be back later. K6USY.
Hey, Mike. Hey, during the net tonight, if you want, everything's set up. All I got to do is click a key, one mouse click, and it goes off one time. So if you want to test with anybody or anybody to see if they hear the beacon or whatever, I can trigger it at any time you want. Over.
Yeah, you can do it right on this frequency.
Roger, roger.
Yeah, okay. Very good. I heard a third voice in there, I believe.
KE6BON.
Oh, there he is. KE6BON. Good evening, Adam.
Good evening, Mike.
I get a jump start early check-in after tinkering on some saws.
Yeah, no, you're checked in. As soon as you make yourself known, you're checked in automatically. Over.
Copy that. Yeah, I'm finally getting my 488 Shindala on the bench here to do a little tweaks to it, and ironically, I'm going to sell this one because I scored another one off of eBay that is freaking mint. The thing looks like new.
What is it?
It's a Shindala 488, same ones that you have.
Oh, okay. I think a lot of people buy chainsaws and then never use them. They use them once and then they put them aside and they never get back to it.
Well, this guy says that he used it every year. He's 79 years old and he's done cutting his wood now. But he's obviously one that, looking at the saw, he's taken very good care of it over the years. I mean, I haven't seen a saw this clean and cherry, this old, ever.
Yeah, well, some guys take care of them and some guys just use them, like me.
Right. Well, yeah, you definitely do use them. I'm not going to argue with that.
Anyway, I've got way too much monitor here. When Aaron gets back, remind me to have him turn the monitor down.
Copy that.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, it went high again, but that's all right. I can live with it. It just didn't, it's higher than it normally is. Okay. Every time I key the mic, and if I make any noise, it sounds like somebody's braking just about the time I'm keying the mic. Okay, I'm looking for KB6RQU. We're a couple of minutes early, though.
Able 6 Sugar.
Good evening, Bill. Able 6 Sugar, K6MYC in the group.
Roger. AA6S standing by.
There's the man, okay. KB6RQU, good evening. Now, let me have a little more chatter from you, and I'll see where the path is tonight. I got to rock back and forth and see where you are, over.
Your signal tonight here. Sounds pretty good there, Mike. K6MYC, KB6RQU.
Yeah, Roger, but I can't find a peak on you. I'm running back and forth. I went down to 130 something and up to 155, and there's almost no change.
I find that happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's a diffused and confused path, I guess. But I've got you okay. You're just not bodacious. Bill's probably warming up the amplifier there. AA6S, did you hear RQU, Rick?
KM6, loud here. KB6RQU, AA6S. Hello, yeah, the amp is on. I'm only about 700 watts. But one of these days I want to try adjusting the loading capacitor in the thing, but you got to pull the cover off, and I don't like being all around that voltage by myself. KB6RQU, AA6S. Go ahead, Rick.
AA6S, yeah, good evening, Bill. Yeah, you need to be careful there a little bit. Good strong plug-in, 5 is what you have right now. And there was someone else that came along and you left them on the side of the other station.
KM6, SRR.
Go ahead, Rob.
KM6, SRR, good evening, KB6RQU.
Good evening, Rick. Good to hear you on there. Just wanted to say hello and Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year to all there.
I guess that's something we have to do because we're going to not be on the air for New Year's here. Happy New Year to everybody when it comes in a day or so. It's the 29th GMT time, so we're only a couple of days away. You mean light in the loafers or light in the signal strength? Okay. I did not hear, but we will stand by. QRZ, the other station, whoever it might be, K6MYC and the 432 Bozo Net. Now, you did hear Rob, didn't you, Rick, over? Okay, I don't know who it would be. I didn't hear anybody here, but that doesn't mean I heard everybody. We're missing quite a few people here in 6BYH. WA6AAJ, WA6OIB. Oh my goodness, several others probably. It'll come to me. K6BBG, we haven't heard for several days now.
727.
There's one of the missing members. Good evening, Mike.
Good evening, Mikey.
Who is it?
737.
737. Okay, 737. Why can't I bring that one up? Who is that?
Jim, W6NIS.
Oh, okay, good. My favorite number, and I couldn't bring it up. Sorry, Jim. Good evening.
Good evening, Mike, everybody. W6NIS. Just thought I'd check in. I'm just out here in the radio room looking at things. So have a good net.
Yeah, Roger, what are you doing? Checking in and checking out very quickly?
Oh, yeah, I got to make dinner and everything.
Okay. Well, you're welcome to come back. We are live streaming, but it's coming from Aaron's place, so I had a power shutdown last night. We weren't on here, but I was chatting away, and we just finished on 2 meters, and I'm sitting here listening to everybody. And luckily, I had finished all my comments. Otherwise, it would have been strange. But I'm sitting here listening to Aaron and a couple of others talking on the frequency, and all of a sudden, everything in the house went black. And I remembered that I had forgotten to turn PG&E on to keep charging. We had a kind of a cloudy day, and the batteries did not get charged up. So everything goes dark when the batteries get down to a certain percent. I can't remember what that percentage is, Frank. Is that 20%? That's one question for you, Frank. And the second question is, when you get here tomorrow, I need you to run me some Bozo sheets. Over.
Yeah, Roger, Mike. Yeah, I tried to turn it down below 20, but it's defaulting at 20%, so it's not going to go beyond that to run AC. Your radios will still run for a little while, but the inverter's just shutting down at 20% on those batteries. Over.
Well, I think everything goes down. Otherwise, I would see lights in the shack from all the amplifiers, but I did not see any lights in the shack when it went dead. Over.
Okay, maybe the adjustment I tried to make and drop it lower took, and maybe it's wiping it out. I just don't know.
Well, it's not a big deal. I thought you might have been shutting it at 40%. Originally, we had it at 40, which is a little high. We didn't need that, but 20% is good if that's where it's kicking out.
Yeah, if I remember right in the manual, that's what it defaults to.
I don't know why not, but I guess we run I probably should turn the pump off. Tomorrow, I may or may not let the pump run. We'll see how the sun is tomorrow. But that really eats into the charging time. Over.
Yeah, Roger that. It does indeed, although at this point the pool was kind of needing it, so.
Well, it's not desperate. It's just got leaves in the bottom, and that's minor compared to being green. If it was green, we'd really have to hook it, but it's okay. Well, I'll play it by ear tomorrow. There was a third thing I need you to do. I need you to look. Doggone it. Can't remember now what it was. There was some other minor little thing like running Bozo sheets. I forgot to have Matt run some copies for me before he left.
That's all right. I've gotten his machine to cooperate for me before. I'll be able to run them off.
Yeah, it's just a printer. Everything else is, I think he's turned everything else off, but you don't need anything on except for the printer.
Roger.
711.
711. Good evening, John. You were one that I was thinking about that I couldn't bring up the call for. That was missing here. But good to hear you. Hope everything well with you, and Happy New Year.
And same to you. I did listen to the streaming last night. It's great fun to hear what you're hearing.
Oh, okay. We're not doing as well tonight because For some reason, when the whole system shut down here at the house last night, the battery, apparently, I'm not the battery, but the computer that runs the streaming here shut down, and for some reason, even though Aaron thought he had it automatically turn up, come back on when the power came back, it didn't come back up right, and it still hasn't come back right. It's lost its mind. Thank you, Microsoft.
Oh dear. Well, darn.
So we're streaming, but we're streaming from Aaron's house.
Oh, so. Okay.
You'll probably hear yourself really well.
Yeah, or he could stream from my house, too.
Yeah, if Aaron can't hear you at his house from you, you're both in big trouble. By the way, Frank does have can turn the beacon on, so anybody that wants to test to see if they can hear the beacon at the new height, it's up about 62 feet, running about 15 watts at the moment. In case anybody wants to do it, we can turn it on here and let it run for a minute or so on this frequency, K6MYC.
Oh, how interesting. Okay, well, I'm good. Okay, I hear the delay on the net now.
Yeah, you're hearing me though direct, right?
Yeah, both at the same time.
Yeah, but the delay is about 6 seconds, or it used to be. I don't know what it's doing now without this computer running. Anyway, I'm missing KC5DTU also, KC5DTU, WA6OIB, M6BYH, K6BBG. Gosh darn it, there's somebody else here that's missing in the local area, and I can't bring him up. Doesn't matter. Bill is. I know that there's no QUI from Pescadero tonight, so we don't have to worry about that. But in about 2 minutes, you should go down and see if you can catch Ralph, and maybe Joel will be back on there tonight. AA6S, WA6AAJ, K6MYC.
Yeah, Roger, I'm here. Are they on above or below? I've never even heard them before.
Well, you never heard what?
I've never heard the guys in LA before on 432. I don't know, are they 10 kc above us or 10 below us?
Well, they sometimes come here, but they are 10 up. 10 or 20.
I'll point the antenna towards LA and see if I hear anything.
Yeah, they're usually there, and Ralph used to come here and check in when that's why I'm leaving the antenna sorted toward LA right now in case he comes up.
Yeah, Roger, I got my antenna coming around.
And then what I'll do, when you go that way, we'll go up over to Monterey, and no Monterey tonight, but we'll go right into Santa Cruz like we did last night, and get KW6S. Rob, how are you doing today? Did you work today, or did you stay home?
Well, I worked. I'm working on some plans that had to redo because they moved a ponding basin. Kind of changes things. Over.
I see. Okay. Okay. Well, I guess we're not going to have any Ken in here tonight. Ken's been missing, of course, through this holiday season. I guess he's got too many kids, grandkids, daughters, granddaughters, sons and son and daughter-in-laws and all kinds of stuff, and he just never gets to the shack very often.
Yeah, he's been missing on some of the local nets too. KM6SRR.
He's probably trying to get restored, renewed, refreshed.
Or he's still cleaning out his garage for his car. Over.
Oh, God help us. By the way, Frank, you get a kick out of this. when Kenny came over the other day and I went to my back rack with all the stuff in it on the back wall of the barn there, he said, "Oh, look at here, your whole cabinet is collapsing." And it has a whole east end of the cabinet has come loose from the wall and is sagging and is down about 2 inches. So I've got to empty that whole cabinet out and redo that. I got some shelf brackets. Maybe what we'll do is just put up some shelving brackets, not put them inside of cabinets, because the cabinets, he said everything is shot. It's all that fiberboard stuff, and it's all warping and disintegrating. Every shelf is collapsed inside and so on. Big job. I don't want to have you do it, but maybe you can help me with a couple of little things to get that started.
Yeah, Roger, I forgot about that. You mentioned that the other day, and we were going to take a look at that when I was down there. We'll have to look at that tomorrow, over.
Yeah, well, I got it propped up. It can't fall any further unless it completely falls. But boy, it's going to be a mess with all the stuff on all those shelves if it comes off. I've emptied one shelf. I've got one shelf in the rolly cart, the gray rolly cart. I emptied and put all the stuff in just on one shelf out of 4 shelves in there. And it filled the cart, so I've got to maybe empty the big rolly cart that's got the big plywood on top to see if I can clean that off and use that, and we can roll that back, and then we can empty everything onto that thing temporarily until I can get some new shelves in there.
Roger, roger.
Never ending, huh?
Never ending, but, you know, you could be living in some retirement home with 0 responsibilities and bored so bad that you just up and die. Or you could be like you and I are. We just keep plugging away and keep repairing what we've got, and I kind of think part of it keeps us going, over.
I can't die. I got too much to do.
Exactly right.
Okay. One more call up and down the San Joaquin Valley. Anybody else before we go to Santa Cruz, K6MYC? Mighty quiet. Santa Cruz, here we go. I'm rotating towards that Bozo Net, 432. Anybody? It's strange we never get any of those people out of the area. I don't know if there's any hams that are unsidebound down in between Santa Barbara and here. So I'm sort of over towards Santa Cruz. Let's see how much we've got here. KW6S, K6MYC. You know what? I don't see any power going out here. Hang on just a second, Tom. Well, I got output. How come I'm not seeing anything on the meter here? Oh, if I put right switch position, it'll be there. Okay. Good evening, Tom, and Happy New Year. Well, it's my fault. I overshot. I went to 285 instead of 265. That should be better. So I was the one-eared monster, huh? Yeah, you could ask Frank about me hitting the wrong buttons. I was trying to get the FTDX10 in the barn going today. He helped me get the 6-meter, the 15-meter antenna going again. I guess somehow along the line got the feed lines crossed over. So the feed line that I thought was the 15-meter antenna was open on the other end. No wonder. Anyway, between that and then pushing wrong buttons, we spent almost an hour just trying to get the radio to work right over. That seldom happens. You had the opposite of my day over here yesterday. Everything I touched broke or fell apart or didn't work. I got up on the stepladder. The coup de grace was after fighting it for about 2 hours. All I was trying to do was a 10-minute job. But everything I did was wrong. Everything I did didn't fit, wouldn't go together, came apart while I was holding it. And finally, I got up on the stepladder about 10 feet up, trying to drill a hole in the oak tree to put an eyeball in, and my drill motor locked up. Wouldn't go. Absolutely frozen solid. Couldn't turn the chuck or anything. Had to take it down, and I squirted it with WD-40. I did all kinds of different things. Finally, I just changed the battery. I put a new battery on it, took right off and went. But it was locked up solid. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Murphy. He gets in your back pocket. He won't get out of there. Okay, KB6 Lima Echo in the group. K6MYC. Lee, are you here? Okay, don't sweat. Anybody else want to say? Oh, by the way, have you been checking the beacon on 432 236? I reversed my numbers. I did a rectocranial inversion. It is 260, yes. But Frank can turn it on here for 10 or 15 seconds if you want to listen for it right here, over.
Double.
We double. And it's 432 260.
Hey, Tom, can you hear me? Okay, this is W6BBS. I'm talking on the beacon antenna. Stand by a couple seconds. I'll turn my power down, and I'll just key the beacon once and let you hear it.
Did you get that, Tom? No, you're not hearing the beacon. That's Frank, and he's transmitting on the beacon antenna, and he's going to put it on this frequency. So stay right here and just listen to see if you can hear it at 15 watts. Over.
Okay, one more time.
I was in the loud, Mike, KM6SRR.
It's not coming through here at all. Nothing.
Whoops.
Oh, that's weird. I can't hear it at all. Usually
Ah. God damn.
it's that.
I'm sorry. I forgot this thing's arguing with me. The program is, and I forgot that the mic's tied to the audio, and so when I'm cussing the program, you heard me. But anyways, I was transmitting the beacon at 10 watts, so he was hearing it at 10 watts. Over.
Okay. It's not pointed, it's an omni. It's an egg beater at 60 feet. Yeah, okay, but it's strange that I can't hear it. That's weird. Rob's hearing it gangbusters, and I don't hear squat here. It's possible that this radio's got the notch on, but usually I hear it pulsing, but I don't even hear the pulsing.
You want to hear it at 100 watts once?
Good evening, Mike. K6VBG. Good evening, Tom.
It's weird. Hang on a second, Dave. If I can hear you talking, Frank, why can't I hear the beacon?
All right, that was a big old double. Dave, VBG was checking in. He wants in and out. He is not feeling well, Mike.
I heard it. Go ahead. I want you to tell me if I can hear you talking, how come I can't hear the beacon?
All right, well, now I'll key it once. Because I'm talking at 100 watts, I would only have the beacon on at 10. Here, I'll key it once at 100 watts. Okay, that was 100 watts, Mike.
Never heard a peep.
Don't know why.
I'm not kidding you. There's no tones coming out of this receiver. You're sounding good. You're 5 and 9 here. So there's something. I'm going to ask you a question. Let me get Dave checked in here. K6BBG. I got you, Dave.
Hi, Roger, Mike. Yeah, and Frank, you're loud, super loud here.
Yeah, well, Dave, this is on the on an egg beater at 60 feet. That is the beacon antenna. So we're just doing testing. I'm not on a beam right now. I'm omnidirectional.
It makes me wish I put an egg beater up here.
What did you say about the egg beater?
He says he wished he'd put one up.
Who was that?
So, yeah, who was that said Mike's got the noise blanker on?
I may have the notch on, but I don't know which button is the notch. Okay, just give me a little bit more beacon. Let's interesting. Yeah, it's very loud. I can't believe it. I didn't even hear it thumping. I mean, it didn't make a sound. I guess I could have heard thumps in there. There was little bumps and background noise and stuff, but there was absolutely no tones, not even the beginning of a tone, like the notch was trying to take it and just started and then got it all. But no, it just, that notch really works, I'll tell you. I couldn't hear a thing.
Okay, very good. Well, in the meantime, we're back into the regular net mode, and if somebody else wants me to trigger it, I can as we go along, Mike.
Okay, very good. Dave, good evening to you. Hope you feel better. What do you have, Dave? Do you have any ideas? Is it a cold or a flu or what?
I'm feeling like pneumonia right now.
A what?
Actually getting a little bit better than yesterday, but yeah, I've been down all Christmas. It was really bad.
What do you have? It doesn't sound like you have any chest cold. It sounds like it must be abdominal, huh?
No, it's all chest. So hard to breathe. A lot of gooky green stuff coming out.
Oh, okay. Well, you just sound clear here. It's I would have never guessed. Well, let's hope it continues to clear up for you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't need a trip to the hospital.
No, that's for sure. Happy New Year, and let's hope it stays that way.
Yeah, Roger. K6ZBG. We're going to be clearing, going in where it's warm.
All righty. Anybody else? I'm pointed toward the Santa Cruz area, but listening sort of to Bay Area. I can bump it up a little bit for the Bay Area. Over. I hear W6PQL and several others. Hang on. Did I hear you, Dane?
Thank you. We're here.
WB6JMP. Did I hear you, Dane?
Yeah, we're in here, Mike. C6NYC, WB6J.
Yeah, but you're just real weak because you're on the side of the antenna. I'm pointed over to the Bay Area, so you're right on the side. Okay, I got you, Dane. Thank you. And I've got W6PQO, and I heard a third one. Jim, pick it up, and then we'll get the third guy. W6PQL. Let me get up your way a little bit more. K6MYC. That might be better. Absolutely. I'm not following that. A Jones connector for the power? Oh, you mean DC power? Okay. Very good. You want to give me a call and give me a number? Yeah, no sweat. Right, very good. Thank you very much for that. And let's see, who else is in here? I heard another station in the Bay Area calling in. It might have been WB6JNN or KD6SOK. Yeah, there you are. Now you're up. I moved the antenna toward Jim, and you're up. I'm probably not all the way up, but you're close. Good to hear you. Happy New Year, Fred. and we've had none. High tides where here in California? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Probably good moon conditions, probably a distance to the moon of 236,000 miles. It's perigee, and it's full. Yeah, I get it every night, Fred. We don't have clouds here because I don't have any rain either, over. Well, if I could see them, I can see three objects in the sky. Jupiter, sometimes one other one, and the moon, and the sun. Yeah, but Fred, I can't look in the telescope. There's nothing there when I look in. That's a blind spot. Yes, I could. And I can look at the wall on the side next to the monitor, and I can see that thing on the screen. Okay, I guess you didn't have you. You're not working this week, are you? You mean they didn't give you the week off by default? This is Christmas week. Well, good for you. Yeah, tell them where the how to get real there. Jesus. Okay, Fred, good evening. Don't run away if you can. Stick around. Happy New Year, however, and we'll see you Sunday night if you can check in. We're streaming tonight, but the computer went down here and it didn't come back right when we brought it back up, so it's not streaming from my QTH tonight, but we should have that fixed by Sunday, I hope. You can try it right now. Frank is going to turn it on for you. Frank, he'd like to try and see if he can hear the beacon. Give it all you got, Frank.
All right, give me 5 seconds here.
Fred. Did you get that? You're kidding. Everybody else, well, I'd say everybody. Tom's hearing it in Santa Cruz.
I'll increase to 15.
What were you running, 5 watts?
10.
Oh, 10 watts. Okay. Well, you could give him, Fred, are you hearing anything from the voice from Fred? I mean, from Frank, over? Well, yeah, it might be. You're very strong here, but he's transmitting on the beacon antenna. It's a 432 egg beater at 60 feet, so it's up about 2,500 feet above sea level, over. Listen now. He's going to transmit now at full power. Okay, how strong is it for you right now? Well, what is Q1? Q1 and Q2 is nothing. Can you read the CW? Yeah, but Fred's got a much better shot across from Cupertino than you do. Yeah, but that's full power. That's 70 watts. We don't want to run it that way. 70 watts.
Can you hear me, Mike?
I hear you fine.
All right, let me tell him to listen for 15 watts. I want to know if he can hear anything at all at 15 watts.
Okay, wants you guys to listen. He's going to transmit now at 15 watts. He's been transmitting at 70. Now he's going to drop it to 15. See if you can even detect it. Over. How about you, Jim? Oh, that's funny. I mean, you guys are just storming in here, both of you, and Fred's, well, this is 432. Fred's always strong on 432. Possible, Fred, you might have to turn the antenna a little bit more to the north. Can you rotate it all, Fred? Is it, you got a rotator under, or do you have to do it manually? Oh, okay, I thought you had a rotator. When are you going to put a rotator under that thing? Yeah, okay. Yeah, well, when you retire here in about a month, you can get all that stuff done, huh? Yeah, do you have a preamp at all on 432? Well, it's relative, Fred. If I turn the preamp off, I can't even hear you. Well, that's the difference that it makes here on 432 with some feed line lost in there. And I have a preamp at the antenna, and we also run the preamp on the 9700. I can hear them both come on, and they both improve the signal. Over. Okay. When you get serious, when you get retired there, you can put all the goodies in and start to have a serious station there, Fred. You got all the capability and the interest, but you got to get more flexible with a rotator and preamps and better coax and some power. But power's probably the last thing you need. First of all, you need really do the other antennas and rotator and stuff like that. Okay, I'll get off your case. You got enough of that from work, over? Okay, Jim, let's see. I'm going to peek on you, but I have to have more than a 10-second transmission here. But let me just see if there's anybody else. KB6BA, KT2G, K6KLY. Anybody else in the Bay Area copy? WB6J and N, K6MYC Bozo Net. Oh, you're loud. Okay, K6WIS from Placerville, pounding it. Well, he hasn't had it there. He's had it on this frequency. Did you hear it here when he was playing it a minute ago? And you heard nothing? Are you hearing him speaking here? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're still on the bounce path. And you didn't, well, we can try it later in a few minutes when we get around on the direct path. Maybe it'll work there, over. Yeah, he just turned it up to 70 watts and then back down to 15 for the last test, over. Okay. Well, it's on all day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 60 feet and 15 watts more or less. Is it 15 or 10 in the daytime, Frank?
Well, it ran all today at 10. And I'm considering my options. You know, we got a lot of clouds. There's not much power right now, so I don't want to push things too hard. But for the rest of tonight, if you do any testing, I'll do that at 25 just to make up a little bit for feed line loss. And maybe I'll run it for 25 watts tomorrow, over.
Okay. He's going to try running it at 25 watts tomorrow, just tomorrow only for you guys to listen. And then he'll turn it back down. Right now we're a little short of sunlight, which means he's not getting full charge on the batteries. All that does is just limit nothing in terms of the beacon, but it limits him for other things, Paul, over. Roger. Okay, let me see if there's anybody else in the Bay Area. Then we'll go up and get Russ and Martinez, and then the guys in Oakley and Discovery Bay, and then into Sacramento. Okay, good evening, Russ. I don't need to turn for you then. Happy New Year, Russ. I started to write down K6REF. No, that's not right. Wait a minute. Yeah, I had an inversion going there. Yeah, I'll be darned. Yeah, 2 meters and was terrible the other night. Okay, I'm going to try one more time for the Bay Area, and I'll peek on you. Hang on a second. QR's at the Bay Area. How about KB6R, KB6RQU? No, KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. Are you here, Mike? WA6AXX. I'm quite a ways off of you, Ed, but we've got you. Good evening. You did hear the beacon on this frequency, right? He must have had the notch on. Yeah, I couldn't hear the beacon either at first, and I thought something wrong, and then I realized that my notch was on also, and then, of course, that makes a big difference. You want Frank to try it one more time for you? Okay, Frank, give him 10 or 25 watts there for one burst, over. somebody else in there. Was that you, Jim? Ed, are you still there? Yeah, the 9700 notch works like a demon, doesn't it? You wouldn't even know it's there.
That's right.
Hey, Mike.
Good job on that one. Yeah, he heard it fine, Frank, so big, strong signal, Q5.
Yeah, I can hear him almost a little bit, fairly good too. I want to key it one more time at 5 watts and see if he can hear it. Over.
Okay, you're going to key it now at 5 watts and let us know what you get, Ed. Over. Somebody broke in and said they could not hear it. Who was that? Okay, thank you, Mike. Well, you think he's vertical? I can switch vertical for him. Okay, here I am, vertical. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie. Let me get up your way a little bit more. KB6WFC. KB6 Whiskey Foxtrot Charlie Mobile. Any copy? K6MYC vertical. Okay. Yep, back to horizontal. Boy, there's hardly any difference on you guys.
Hey, Mike.
Yeah, Frank.
Where's he located?
Ed's in Los Gatos.
Okay, yeah, I'm just getting a map in my head of the coverage. Thank you, Ed. I can hear you, so I appreciate your test, Ed. W6BBS, over.
He said thanks for the test. He can hear you fine, over. Okay, would you guys watch this? I want to make sure that this polarity switch is working. Oh, wait a minute. I know what's wrong. I can't change polarity on this band. I'm doing 2-meter polarity, and that's not working for some reason. Wonder why I wasn't hearing any different.
If you remind me tomorrow, Mike, I'll give you a lesson on how that equipment of yours works.
I need that. I got too many bells and whistles here. All right, last call for the Bay Area, K6MYC Bozo Net. Tell Mike he's checked in, Jim. Okay, nothing heard. Let me go up to Oakley. There we go. Okay, I think I'm close to Oakley, K at N6 Radio Oscar K6MYC.
Oh, yeah, you're loud and clear, Mike. K6MYC, N6RO, 835, high temperature 60 degrees and no rain. Over.
Yeah, well, we were warmer than that here. I think we were pushing 70, but no rain here overnight or any time, over.
Oh, yeah, we're in between. Tomorrow, supposed to get some.
Yeah, maybe so. I did hear a Friday was a day that possibly it could happen. I think Saturday for us it started to get up into the above 50% chance.
Yeah, it's overnight for us.
Okay.
Yeah, Friday night for us, Mike, after 4 p.m. Friday, and then Friday night's 80%, and then Saturday all day 100%, over.
Okay, I guess I'll have to put my tent up, huh?
I wouldn't sweat it just yet, buddy. Let's see it happen first. Let's tempt fate.
I gotta tell you guys a story. You get a kick out of this. Tracy is Matt's wife, and we were down at her mother's Christmas party, and everybody was exchanging presents. And I asked Tracy what she got, and she said, I got a cock. And then I said, you got a what? Oh, I'm sorry. She said, I mean, I got a cot, C-O-T. I said, that's a Freudian slip if I ever heard one.
Okay, I got to run like the usual Thursday night.
Okay, good night, Ken, and Happy New Year, by the way. We'll see you after the New Year.
Oh, yes. Happy New Year to all.
Okay, up to Steve there. How about it? Yeah, it is, but I'm not taking any chances. Okay, anyway, good to hear you, and you're sounding good here. Well, the key is that it's there most of the time, and sometimes if you know the beacon's there and you're not hearing it, you just got to either wait a while or assuming you don't have a system. I mean, if you've been in the habit of hearing it and all of a sudden for an hour or two goes by and you don't hear it, it's either really weird conditions or something's broken. Well, yeah, any one of those things. But the point is, once you get established and the beacon's up and you know what it sounds like under the best of conditions or under normal conditions, and then all of a sudden you check for it one day after making a few changes and you can't hear it, you probably have to assume that something's wrong. Well, there's no beacons left except for the one maybe on 6 meters, but everything else is gone. KJ6KO has removed all his stuff and it's down until further notice. It's down on all bands, 2 meters, used to play 1296, 220 was separate, 432 quit a long time ago. So it's down and disassembled and home looking at it in the corner. Yeah, go ahead. Okay, say again, what's on 303? Oh, on 303, Jesus, I never even heard about that one. I don't know if I've ever heard that. 432-303, Marin County, huh? I wonder where I have to point for that. Probably a little bit east, maybe toward Martinez. Okay. I've never heard a beacon on 432, but I don't ever tune up to 303. It used to be KJ6 scale was on 283 or something. But I'll go up to 303 tomorrow and see if we can hear it when Frank is here. Yeah, but I can tell you I've never heard it. I've never tuned for it because I never tune above 300. So, I didn't know it was there at all. Or maybe I've totally forgotten it because it was a non-entity for me. Anyway, I'm glad to know that it's still there. It doesn't work, it doesn't do for us. At least you guys have got something that works, even though Frank's won't work for you. We'll eventually have beacons on 2 meters, 222, 432, and 1296 from that location. Watch at his house at 2,500 feet on the slope above in course gold, over. I'm sorry, shut what down? Well, we would hope not. We haven't had any of that issue so far. I don't think you'll have to do that. But it remains to be seen. It sort of depends on where his other antennas are. See, most of his other antennas are going to be moon bounce or some distance away. This is going to be on a dedicated mast. I'm donating a what do they call those things, Frank?
Launcher.
A launcher, yeah. So we'll put a launcher up that's dedicated just for the beacon stuff, and it's going to be with a short feed line. It'll be located almost at the point where his shack is. So that'll be, well, you know, within 25, 30 feet of that, and then straight up, over.
Comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put it right outside the wall, so the feed line won't even come all the way to the ground. It'll come down the tower and then sideways about 4 feet and under the eaves and through the holes that are already there, the ports where antenna feed lines used to be in that shack once before, over. So they're going to come off the tower, not even get to the ground, and so the closest they get to ground is wherever I bolt the radios on the wall.
Yeah, and that's the shack. It'll be in the shack you got from Ken Holden up on the hill, right?
Roger, Roger. It'll be in that, and that thing itself is 10 foot tall. So, you know, so I'm going to keep the feed line just short as possible. That tower that's going to support these are going to be right up against that thing, and just it'll all be right there. Keep everything short as we can.
Yeah, okay, and we should be able to put 7/8 up there. We're thinking of a way to run a quadplexer up there, so we run all the RF up on one feed line and then quadplex it to the various antennas. Does that make sense, Jim? W6 PQL, did I lose you? Everybody went. W6 PQL, are you still there? Okay, well, you weren't responding. Maybe I didn't get, maybe I had to move the antenna. What we said was we're going to put the antennas dedicated on a launcher that's going to be at least 60 or 70 feet high. We can go probably at least that high. The launcher will be right next to a shed that he got from Ken Holden. It's right there near his shack, so the feed line will come right down the pole, the launcher tubes, and right into this shed. So almost no feed line loss on small stuff at all, over. No, well, I'm sure Frank will accommodate, and we can also try some very serious filters. I have the technology at work, and that's who probably will get to do the quadplexers. And yeah, hopefully we'll do with better transferters, maybe, huh? move on here up to Sacramento.
While you're moving. Yeah, okay, I got it. While you're moving, Mike, one of the thoughts I had is to run LMR 600 for 2 meters, 220, and even 432, because they're only going to be about 60 feet long, and then run 1/7/8 all the way up there for the 1296, over.
Yeah, well, that's another option. It simplifies the quadplexer to a triplexer or a duplexer.
And I happen to have a triplexer here that I hadn't forgot about until today. I was thinking about it. I have one that is 2 meters, 432, and 1296. And so that can feed out of, well, wait a minute. Anyways, I've got one triplexer sitting here right now if it's needed.
Yeah, we can have another one. I think it's a commercial unit, isn't it?
Roger. I used to run it in my truck when I had a tri-band, Kenwood tri-band radio with 1296 in it, over.
Yeah, and I've got a duplexer also. A couple of them somewhere in the barn. All right, let's see. Pointed towards Sacramento. Wake up, guys. Sorry we're so late. KO6KD. If you're there, Bill, KO6KD, K6MYC, Bozo Net. Anybody in the Sacramento area for 432? Yeah, I'm still making power, K6MYC. Yeah, you're loud. You must have put the other feed line up today, huh?
You're past 8:30.
Yeah, well, clearly the feed line's okay, but that little comet or whatever antenna you got there clearly isn't working because you're just bodacious in here. Well, he's in course goal next to me. Frank, you copying Russ there?
Yeah, I can hear him in there talking, Mike. Not enough for a QSO, but I am getting some signal off him, over.
Okay, because he's super loud here. You must have blockage towards Sacramento. I think that's what your problem is for the Sacramento guys. Even though you think it's clear, it isn't.
Well, I was thinking about that, and there is one mountain that I can think of that might be in line. You know where Bullion is, and it'll be southwest of Bullion is the next peak there. It's Guadalupe, and it's where 140 runs down out of Mariposa. It comes down that, and that's a peak that is south and west. I was thinking about it earlier. That peak might be in the way, over.
Yeah. I'll be darned. Well, anyway, Russ, we could put the beacon on quickly right now on this frequency if you want to listen for a moment at 25 watts and then full power 70.
I'll give him 25.
Yeah, when did you hear it? What time? Today or yesterday? Okay, yeah, he's hearing it, Frank. He's been hearing it even at 15 and 25 watts, so he's got it.
Okay, yeah, all day today it was running at 10.
Yeah, it was at 10 watts all day today up on 260. So we'll have it back there tomorrow, but we might bump the power to 25 watts tomorrow for a 12-hour period, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. tomorrow, 25 watts. Okay, I know where you can get good little 1296 antennas, by the way. There's not a bad price on the little 23 CM22s. We got a bargain on the last manufacturing batch that came out of our vendor, who stamps out the elements or makes them with a laser. So we were able to keep. I think the price is still pretty low. Anyway, it's not going to shatter you in terms of how low it is, but it's better than it has been. Over. Seven three. Have a good one. Happy New Year. 756. I hear you, Darren. Let me go back your way just a tad here. That should be pretty close to you, Darren. Over. Well, good. I'm glad you could hear it. That was running at 10 watts today. Yeah, I understand. Well, of course, it's going to vary a lot on the path. You're going to hear good times of the day and bad times. But tomorrow we're going to have it on all day from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. at 25 watts. It is at 62 feet in the air now. Over. Okay, very good, Darren. And are we going to hear you up on 222 on Tuesday? I meant Monday. It's Tuesday GMT time, but Monday our time. Over. All righty. Yeah, good luck with that. You got my comment the other night. If you put it between the 6-meter and the 2-meter antenna, and you have a VSWR goof up, and it doesn't do better than it did where you had it lower, we could try spinning it 90 degrees to those two antennas and see if that clears it up. Over. Yep. I got you. Alrighty. 7-3. Let's see. KO6KD, K6MYC. I'm bumping up his direction, Darren. I don't hear him. I'm hearing him a little bit now. Go ahead, Bill. I'm hearing you, and I'm hearing Darren. Go ahead. Oh, you're not hearing it. Well, I don't know what a better spot is. I don't know why you wouldn't hear it and he is. You don't have a lot of dirt in the way, do you? Yes? Well, we can run it right now, Bill, on this frequency at 70 watts for a minute if you want to listen here. Over. All righty, very good. Yes, I should be there. Well, I listened here on a 40-meter antenna. No, actually, I was listening on 20. Well, I could hear Bill on 20 and 40. And then later in the day, we found the problem. I had mixed up a feed line, and I was listening on the wrong feed line. The feed line I was trying to get 15 meters on was open. So I was listening to whatever I was hearing was just a piece of feed line. And when I connected up both sides of the feed line, of course, I heard nothing. But when I listened to it as a wire, a center conductor only, then it worked. But I didn't hear Billy. Anyway, I heard him nicely today, and the 15-meter beam is fixed and the kilowatts on, so we'll be in there tomorrow. We should be able to work him easily. He was Q5 and quite strong, even though I was not on the right antenna. I think I doubled with you a lot of that transmission. Did you hear that we have fixed the 15-meter problem? Okay. Okay. Anyway, we'll see you in the morning, but yeah, we should be able to go over to 15. And if you go with me tomorrow, we can see how the conditions are, because if you're I think it's mostly a path condition, so I wouldn't get too concerned about how bad you're hearing. You heard him the first day pretty well, and he worked you, and you had a contact the first day. And yes, today was not as good for you, but and I don't know how well I was hearing him because I never did have a time. I was just listening to him on antennas that were hundreds of feet high, which you don't have. So it's very possible that it wasn't very good here either, even on the 15-meter beam, but we'll find out tomorrow. 73 KO6KD, K6MYC. Anybody else in Sacramento? Go ahead. Okay, pretty quiet. Let's go to the Nevada area. Oh, let's see. Let's go on the direct path here. Direct path to you, Paul. K6 Whiskey India Sugar, K6MYC. Yes, okay. Well, if you give me a little more chatter, I can peek on you. I'm never sure where this path is best. Over. Yeah, well, you're very loud right here at 334. Yeah, well, if the main lobe isn't on you, that's not going to sound very good, but this is very sharp. The antenna's only got a 10-degree beam width. I was at 327, now I'm at 334, over. Yeah, that's what I said. It's very sharp, so I've got to be right on you. It's not the greatest, but it does get some signals out of the noise. So it does have gain when it's pointed right. Well, I may have you on the side of the main pattern here. Maybe just a wiggle in the breeze here. Let me move one more degree. Now I'm at 335. 335. Did you see any difference there? Yeah, you're peaking good too here. Okay. Did you want to try the beacon now that you're pointed on the direct path? Well, it should be give you a tone of about 800 cycles right on this frequency. Yeah, turn your notch off. Boy, I had the notch on first. I couldn't hear it at all. It just completely took it out, and we're local here. Okay, Frank, give him about 25 watts for 30 seconds. Over. Did you hear that? Yeah, it might be just the path at the moment here. Okay, have you heard the beacon at all since we started this the last few days? Okay, well you might just, if you're not doing anything else with the radio, just leave it on tomorrow morning. It'll be back on 260, of course. And then just leave it on for a few hours and see if it changes with the path. Over. Okay. It's at 62 feet, and we'll be running 25 watts tomorrow. All right, and it'll be on from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then off. Okay, for now, Happy New Year, and we won't see you until New Year's Eve on Sunday. 7-3, and hopefully we'll have the live streaming fixed again. The computer isn't working here in the shack. It went down yesterday when I had a power failure, and it didn't want to come back to life. Over. Well, either one. I have the flexibility of both, but right now we can only stream from the house, which is the moon bounce array, which I was on last night. But if we get things hooked up, if Aaron gets over here and puts a couple connectors on and everything works, we should be on by Sunday night. Otherwise, it'll be on later in the week. Over. Yeah, well, that's more than we have checked in, but only by a few. I've got 22 check-ins right now. Yeah, okay, and of course I'm sure you're hearing the beacon on the YouTube channel. Okay, very good. Well, 73s, Happy New Year, and we'll see you Sunday night. KE6 Whiskey India Sugar, where are you? Forgot what the location is there. K6, that's stupid, isn't it? K6MYC. Yeah, no, I usually use Placerville as a general pointing accuracy mentality for people to just tell them where to point. Point toward Placerville. Close enough for starters. All right, Pleasantville it is, 7-3. Yeah, it's a really quite a good path here on this path. It's going up and down, but boy, it's holding nicely. You were very strong on the bounce path also, but I think you're actually stronger here. Yeah, Roger. No, it's sounding good here. This is the best band that we have for the direct path, I think. It gets here no matter what. Okay, I got it. Thank you. Let me go to the guys in Nevada who are waiting patiently, I'm sure. Patiently, I hear them on CW. I hear you, CW. Okay, that might be Larry. N7WT, was that you, Larry? Okay, 5 watts is Q5, and I didn't get a chance to really peek on you, so you're doing pretty well with 5 watts again tonight. Richard, over. Okay, this should be pretty damn close for the best peak here, but you're Q5 and fine on Larry. I'll write Larry in there, and we'll also stand by for Daniel. He's got the 432 antenna up, so he might be checking in here also. Have you heard Daniel yet? I hear you, Daniel. Nice signal. Go ahead. I hear you, Daniel. Go ahead. Maybe Daniel's not hearing me. What's going on, Daniel? I copy you fine. Go ahead. Yeah, you're loud. No problem copying at all. KE7UQL, got your 27 through. Got your 272 in fine shape. The beacon will be on tomorrow. The beacon antenna is omnidirectional now on 432 260. And it's at 62 feet. 62 feet, and we'll be running 25 watts tomorrow from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. So you might have a listen for it from time to time. You may not hear it. It's good in some places and not so good in others. But it's possible that you would hear it through the day if you can sit there and monitor a little bit in the background. KE7UQL with KD6BQ, K6MYC. Roger. Okay, back to you, Richard, and then we'll let you go. 7-3, Happy New Year, guys, and we'll see you Sunday night. KD6BQ, KE7UQL with N7 Whiskey Tango signed in, but not here, K6MYC. Go ahead, Richard. I don't hear you, Richard. KD6BQ. Can't you hear my 800 watts? K6MYC. Over. Roger, Roger. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for telling me, so we won't waste any time looking for him then. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah, you're loud. It's no problem copying. Thank you. Okay. I think we've done the net here. I'm going to go back to the Bay Area briefly, but it's not likely we'll have any late checks. It was really weird tonight, Frank, when we heard Russ KW6T break in from where's that? Twain Hard. It's not the other one. It's not Twain Hard. It's the other place up there. It's got a weird name. Latrobe. Yeah, he's so strong on 432, and I couldn't hear a trace of him on 1296. So we're pretty sure he's got a little Comet Yagi, and it must not be working. Are you copying me? Where'd you go? Maybe Frank went in. Who was it that was talking to me?
That wasn't me. That was somebody else. That's why I was being quiet.
Okay, it might have been Latrobe himself. Over. Okay, you're back, because I thought you signed and were gone forever. Over. Okay. Well, I'm pointed toward the Bay Area, so you're kind of weak, but we've got you. 7-3, Happy New Year. We'll see you Sunday night, hopefully. Roger, 7-3, Ross, KW6T, Latrobe, K6MYC, clear and in the Bay Area, looking for any late checks or missed in the Bay Area here. Late checks or missed in the Bay Area. K6MYC, Bozo Net. Sometimes KT2G comes in here, sometimes K6KLY comes in. Not hearing anybody tonight. I think we're done. Rob, you've been very quiet tonight.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this antenna setup anyway. I'm got a problem. My computer won't use my printer, so I've been trying to fix that. Over.
Oh, one problem or another. We all got problems. All right, Frank, we'll see you in the morning, and pretty good test tonight. It could have been better, but we got heard in several places. The only guy that's not doing well with you is Bill, but you're being heard in West Sacramento. KJ6KFB is hearing you.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah, not everybody's going to hear it right off. Some of this work's going to have to be done on the other end by the guys trying to receive it. All I can do is put up a reasonable source for people to work on.
Yeah, and maybe the way to fix it is to switch out the egg beater or put an egg beater up there and then parallel with a Yagi going into the most difficult direction.
Yeah, we can discuss all that tomorrow and see how things pan out. We'll think about it.
Yeah, we got lots of options and no big rush on everything because we're really short of equipment right now except for 432. By the way, who was I talking to? I was talking to somebody. Oh, Phil, WB6GGY. Phil's about as blind as I am, only from a different cause. But I'm trying to get him on the other bands, and he's now finally coming to a point where he can spend a couple of dollars. He says he's got 2 more house payments, and he'll have his house paid off, and that'll free up some stuff. He's up in Twain Hart. And I said, maybe the radio you should try and get, maybe Frank would sell you his FT847, which belonged to me originally, but it's good radio. It's got all the bands that he doesn't have. that would get him immediately on 2 meters and 432, and he would be willing to do that if he could get that radio. So think about that if you want to do that.
Yeah, go ahead and make whatever deal you think is fair, keeping in mind that the volume pot, of course, it's only at low volume that it really bothers you. You know, the volume pot's a little scratchy, but all those seem to do that. Yeah, in fact, I actually have that radio plugged in over here because I was listening to my own beacon with it just by plugging a 6-inch piece of coax on the back of it. Over.
Yeah. Well, I could offer him FT100, but it's a hell of a lot harder to see than the 847. 847 is physically a little larger, and the buttons are more prominent and stuff, and I think he could use that and not be lost with menus and all that sort of stuff. The 9700, he could afford it, but he's just going to waste 99% of it because he's like me, he can't see it.
Yeah, roger that, and I understand that. And this being the older radio, pretty much everything's on the front panel versus having to go into menus and find stuff. Over.
Yeah, and that's what I told him. So I thought it might be a good radio for him. And I don't know, what did we talk about when did you get it from me? You paid for it, or how did you do it? I forgot.
Yes, I bought it from you 2 years ago for 500 2 years ago.
Okay, well, we could probably do 500 again. I launched that number at him, and it seemed to be okay.
Okay, that being said, yeah, I would take 500 if I could get it probably, but I think I'd probably take 400, Mike, and it'd be a 400 as is, and it's yours. Over.
Okay. Well, I told him that you'll be on Monday night on the 6-meter net. And you guys can finalize at that point if you want, or I can tell him in the morning. I talked to him morning. Well, you know, he'll be in there in the morning. He comes, he listens. He has that group down on 140, and then when he's done with them, he comes up and listens. And so, but when everybody signed out today, and you took off to come down here, he and I chatted for a few minutes. So he'll be in there in the morning, and we can probably call him in any time. Over.
Okay, now tomorrow's Friday. Are you going to be on 20 or 40? Over.
Well, I don't know. Good question. We can start on 40, but we also can go to 20. We could try. I can be flexible because it's just a matter of flipping a band switch, and it's automatic antenna switch and a band switch on the radio, and I can go on either one because it's the same antenna pointed in the same direction.
Yeah, okay. I can stay home and come in a little later and get on the air.
Okay, well, let's play 40 initially at 8 o'clock, and then if we don't hear anybody, we'll go right over. Bob may come in, K7BO, and tell us that Billy's waiting for us on 20.
K6USY.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
Okay, Mike, I was doing a little bit of experimenting with my laptop here. If you got that keyboard handy for the streaming computer, press enter on it one more time. I have a theory that might get it to boot. Because when I tested it here on my laptop, if you press enter twice, it gets it to boot. And if not, then Frank can deal with it tomorrow morning.
Yeah, hey, Aaron, is there any passwords in that computer?
No, sir. Well, there is, but it's set to automatically log in.
Okay, roger that. I didn't know if you had done something or if you had discussed it with Mike. I know there's a common password that we use on several of the computers that are not critical to anything, any important data or anything.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay, yeah, I have it set to something else, but as I said, I have it set to auto log in. And if Mike manages to get it up tonight, I did some research real quick. There's a command I can run to disable the boot recovery. Apparently, Windows 11, if the computer loses power, when it turns back on, it brings you up to this pre-boot menu that asks you if you want to run recovery options or continue booting. And I'm just going to shut that off.
Yeah, roger that. Now, I've got one computer with that on it that comes up after a power failure, which I create, sometimes out here, being off-grid and goofing with solar stuff. And but it sits at that menu for 10, 15 seconds, and then it just moves on and boots up. It doesn't sit there forever. So that's kind of weird that they would. But Microsoft, instead of making things better, they seem to thrive on making their operating system more cumbersome to operate.
Yeah, it's like just run a check of the drive, just double check that everything's fine, and then just boot the dang thing.
1 second, I'm going to take a drink. Okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story here. This is many, many years ago, before, I don't know how long you've been around this area, but before MadNet was the first internet service in Madera, before that, before cable modems, before any of this stuff. And MadNet first came into town, and it was strictly a dial-up, and everybody pretty much had 28.8 modems at the time, or maybe there was one faster, I can't remember. But anyways, I was playing with BBSs. I used to run bulletin board systems, and Windows crashed all the time, but that was my multitasking computer that would run several nodes. So I got playing with Slackware Linux a little bit. And I built me a box, and a friend of mine, actually is a ham that lives in Barbados, wrote me a Perl script. And what literally happened when somebody logged into my BBS, they would log in, and the Perl script would answer. It says, okay, let's check Windows Box 1. And it'd pull my first Windows box, and I had 6 of them, 6 Windows machines all in the order there. And if it was still running, it would log them into the BBS. And then if that was crashed, it'd send them back a message. Hold on, that Windows box is crashed. We'll go to the next one. And so, well, in fact, him. I'm sure Gus KF6ZXO. Him and his wife had stopped by, and they liked what I'd done with that, and they wanted something that they could share their internet connection, and that would be just kind of an automatic and would reconnect and blah, blah, blah because of the bad dial-up connections. So I built a Slackware box for them, took it over there, and I had it programmed that upon you started it up, it booted up, and it dialed in and connected to MadNet. And all the networking booted up so that it would network with their 2 Windows computers. So all they would do is reach under the Gus's radio desk there and hit the button on that computer that was under the desk, and it would fire up. A couple minutes later, they would hear the modem, the handshaking and noise, and so they would now get on their Windows machines and log in. And then on both their desktops, I put one command on their desktop, which was basically the Linux command shut down now, which just shuts everything. So when they were done logged in, they would just hit that little deal on their Windows box, and it sent the command over to Linux box, shut it down. And so that box ran there for at least a couple of years before things changed, and Comcast came to town, and cable modems and all that stuff, and they upgraded. So it was about 3 or 4 years after the upgrades and everything, and I get the call, hey, there's a computer under Gus's desk, and it doesn't have a monitor, it doesn't have a keyboard, but it has a network cable plugged into it. We can't figure out what it is. And I'm like, well, I don't know what it is. I'll have to come figure it out. And after I was there for 10 minutes, I finally figured it out. But that was my answer back then when we was running like Windows 95 was, just have a bunch of them in a row and have a Linux box that just said, okay, we'll send the text to the next one over.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I vaguely remember 28.8 modems. There was one night where one of my friends was over, and we figured out that if we put both of our modems into my computer and then used both of my parents' phone lines, and if you dialed into Pac Bell on both of them, it would mux the connection, and you'd have 110K. I felt like a king that night.
Roger that. Sorry. Yeah, I ran bulletin boards way back before the internet and everything was running BBSs. My first ever modem was a 300 baud direct connect, And for people to connect to my bulletin board, they would call. I'd answer the phone. They'd say, hey, we want the BBS. So, okay, call back. We'd hang up, and when they called back, I would now just push the button on the modem. And I'd watch the screen, and when they logged off, then I would shut the modem off. And then everybody got tired of that because they couldn't call the BBS if I wasn't home or if I was on the phone or something. And so a bunch of local computer clubs and different people got together and they did a little fundraiser. And at the time it was like $870. And it was the brand new Hayes smart modem. 300, 1200 baud, and that amazingly blazing fast, you'll never use it, 2400 baud. Auto answer, auto dial modem. And I was like king of the world in Orange County at that time with my BBS system. So, all right, Mikey, are you back?
Yes, I am. Tell me the timing of hitting the enter twice now. I've done it a couple of times, but you haven't responded. Over.
Oh, Frank was talking. Well, if it hasn't done anything by now, then who knows what it's doing. I just needed you to hit it one more time because you already hit it once earlier. But no, it's probably still stuck. We'll just have Frank take a look at it in the morning. No big deal at this point. I'm working from home tomorrow. Once I notice that it's up, I'll get in there and I'll put that command in there so that it doesn't go into that stupid recovery mode.
Well, now look, the first time I hit enter, and then you said hit it twice, so I hit it again, but with about a 5-second delay. And then I waited another 10 seconds, and you said hit it twice, so I went tap, tap, enter, enter. Is that the timing on the enter, enter?
Well, there shouldn't be any timing because basically I had you press enter, a couple hours ago, and if that went through, it would have taken it to a second screen, and then pressing enter that second time in the night, it then should have booted Windows. And then any other presses of enter past that wouldn't do anything. So, but obviously there's probably something else up on the screen, or it's not recognizing the keyboard, or who knows what's going on.
Maybe I should plug the keyboard into the upper. There's 3 USB ports in a row here. I'm in the middle one.
It shouldn't matter, but you can try it.
I just realized I didn't have it in all the way. I just pushed on it, went in another 1/8 of an inch, so maybe I didn't have it connected.
Ah, well, if that's the case, then give it a second and then press enter, and then wait 5 or 6 seconds and press enter again, and we'll see if we can get this stupid thing to boot.
Okay, so two enters, but 5 or 6 seconds apart.
Yeah, because when you press it the first time, it loads a different screen, and then pressing it the second time tells it to boot Windows. And then, of course, I won't know if it did anything for a couple minutes because it's going to reboot and then hopefully start doing stuff. And, of course, Dell on that computer, and Frank will find this interesting, the hard drive LED is on the back of the case. It's not on the front. So you have no idea if it's doing anything unless you look at the back of the computer.
Like I said earlier, Aaron, you got to listen. They're only making it more complicated, not easier.
No, they're just making it cheaper. I think not having a cable running up to an LED and putting it on the motherboard on the back is just cheap.
Yeah, you're right.
It's also pretty funny. All the USB ports and the SD card reader on the front are directly connected to the motherboard. It's a weird motherboard shape that Dell put into that computer. It's very fascinating.
Okay, did it come up yet?
Yes, sir. I see it.
Well, I'm sorry for that. The first time I plugged that USB and I just didn't push it real hard. I should have. It felt like it went in, but I was still out just another 1/8 of an inch, and apparently that was the key.
She can't feel it, Mike.
I know it's too short.
It's a good thing I'm wearing headphones. Okay, now to go find that command that I need to put in there to disable that stupid recovery mode.
Yeah, and then if you want, we can try this. Is it possible when you do this, we can try the streaming and see if it works?
Yeah, well, yeah, give me a second here, because I'd be able to hook back up to your radio real quick. I think I'd probably have to start it as a separate stream, because I can't just switch it from my house to your house. But yeah, give me a second.
I have all the time in the world. I'll go into the kitchen and get a nibble of a cookie, and I'll be back.
Alrighty, K6USY.
And just because I don't know why, but I will log into the YouTube page and wait for the new link to pop up and test it for you.
Oh, thank you, Microsoft, for making so the command is bcd edit, which is the boot up command edit /set, and then default in brackets, recovery enabled, and then no. So it's a recovery enabled and then no. That's thank you, Microsoft.
You know, yeah, you make me laugh a little bit because I recognize the command and see, for years, even after getting into Windows and everything else with file editors and all this kind of stuff, I still did so much stuff in DOS with command lines because I started out in DOS. My first bulletin board, I bought a driver to run the modem and wrote a basic BBS program around that driver, and so and then of course dealing with Linux and Slackware, it's all command line stuff, and so I'm kind of more used to that than the new interface stuff, and I can follow the logic of that, whereas have to click on this and follow the tree and click on that and all that kind of nonsense drives me crazy. Let me just drop into a command mode, type my command in, and be done with the whole mess. Over.
Oh, yeah. So for work, all of our networking equipment, well, except for the firewalls actually have a pretty decent web interface, but all of our routers and switches, I manage everything through command line interface. And then on Windows, I'm doing a lot of stuff, not as much in command line anymore, but PowerShell, which is their newer, scripting language. So yeah, sometimes it's a lot quicker just to type it out and press enter.
Yeah, my only problem is all my skills with all that is still back in the 80s. So, all this new stuff and the new languages and like, I saw a couple of neat things that friends did with Perl, like writing my script for my Linux box and whatnot, but I never learned anything about it. And, once things started moving too far forward and, I'm kind of locked in, my technology level is, 20 years old. But I still have that brain, and I can still generally pick through my way through Windows and get something to work if I need to.
Oh, yeah. Well, and I'm still running Windows 10 on my computer here, and I'm still running 10 on my computer at the office, but I just got a new work laptop, and it's got 11 on it, and oh boy, thanks, Microsoft. Got to learn all this new stuff, and they keep hiding crap. And okay, so so I have the connection to Mikey's radio, and I can see myself on the Spectrum scope. Let me fire up OBS here. OBS did not shut down properly. Well, that's because the computer turned off. Thank you. Okay, give me a second here. I'm going to kill the stream on this end.